In this video, we're revealing the top 5 budget gaming laptops. Machines that crush frame rates without crushing your wallet. From powerful GPUs to buttery-smooth displays, these laptops prove you don't need a $2,000 rig to dominate your favorite titles. Whether you're into Fortnite, Cyberpunk, or a little late-night Elden Ring grind, we've got the performance picks that actually deliver. And if you see one you love, I've dropped updated links with the best pricing in the description below. Starting off our list at number 5, we have the MSI Thin GF63. And honestly, this thing is like the superhero of portable gaming laptops. I'm talking about a machine that weighs just over 4 pounds and is thin enough that you could probably slide it into a manila envelope if you really wanted to. But here's the crazy part. Despite being this ridiculously portable, it doesn't completely sacrifice gaming performance. The 15.6-inch display is clean and sharp, and while you're not getting premium brightness levels, it's totally serviceable for both gaming and Netflix binges in your dorm room. Now don't let that slim profile fool you into thinking this is some weakling. MSI managed to squeeze Intel's 12th gen processors and NVIDIA RTX 4050 graphics into this thing, which is honestly kind of impressive when you consider how thin it is. You can run games like Valorant, Rocket League, and even some newer titles at decent settings without any major hiccups. The keyboard feels surprisingly solid for typing and gaming, and the cooling system does a pretty good job keeping everything from turning into a hot mess, though you'll definitely hear the fans kick in during intense gaming sessions. Price-wise, you're looking at around $700 to $900 depending on which configuration catches your eye. And for a laptop this portable with actual gaming chops, that's pretty reasonable. Sure, you're not going to be maxing out every setting in the latest 8AA games, but if you're someone who's constantly on the move, whether that's between classes, coffee shops, or friends' houses, and you want to be able to game wherever you end up, the MSI Thin GF63 makes a lot of sense. The battery life won't blow you away, but honestly, most gaming laptops are pretty much tethered to outlets anyway. Moving up to number 4, we've got the Acer Nitro V15. And this laptop is basically what happens when someone gets really tired of their gaming laptop sounding like a leaf blower. Acer went absolutely wild with the cooling system on this thing. We're talking dual fans, multiple heat pipes, and vents placed exactly where they need to be. The result? You can actually have a conversation while gaming without shouting over your laptop. It's one of those things you don't realize you need until you have it, and then you can never go back to those jet engine laptops. Performance is where this thing really starts to flex though. Most configurations come loaded with AMD Ryzen 5 or 7 processors and RTX 4060 graphics, which means you're getting some serious gaming power for the price point. The 15.6-inch screen can be configured with up to 144 Hz refresh rates, making competitive games feel incredibly smooth and responsive. What I love most about this setup is that the performance stays consistent even during those marathon gaming sessions. No thermal throttling nonsense where your laptop suddenly decides to take a performance nap halfway through a boss fight. You're looking at spending around $800 to $1,100 for one of these, which puts it right in that sweet spot where you're getting legitimate gaming performance without completely destroying your budget. The build quality feels solid and substantial. This isn't some flimsy plastic toy that's going to fall apart after a few months of use. Yeah, all that cooling hardware makes it a bit thicker than some ultra-slim options, but honestly, I'd rather carry around a slightly chunkier laptop that runs cool and quiet than deal with a slim one that sounds like it's about to achieve liftoff every time I boot up a game. At number 3, we have the HP Victus 15. And this is hands down the laptop I'd recommend to anyone who's just dipping their toes into the PC gaming world. HP basically took the formula for a good gaming laptop and stripped away all the flashy, expensive extras to create something that just works really, really well for people who don't need all the bells and whistles. The design is clean and professional enough that you could take this to a job interview, but it's still got enough gaming DNA to handle your evening Fortnite sessions without breaking a sweat. Spec-wise, you're getting exactly what you need for solid 1080p gaming without any of the overkill. Most models come with Intel's 12th Gen i5 processors paired with RTX 4050 graphics, which hits that perfect sweet spot for medium to high settings on most modern games. The 15.6-inch display isn't going to win any awards for color accuracy, but it's bright enough and sharp enough to make games look good. What really surprised me is how quiet this thing runs. HP clearly put some thought into the thermal design because it stays way quieter than you'd expect from a budget gaming laptop. Here's where things get really interesting though. You can regularly find this laptop on sale for anywhere from $600 to $800, which is honestly kind of ridiculous when you think about what you're getting. That's less than what some people spend on just a graphics card, and you're getting an entire gaming-capable system. The battery life is actually pretty decent too, easily lasting through a full school or workday before you need to plug in for gaming. It might not be the flashiest option on this list, but if you want something reliable that won't empty your bank account and will let you enjoy PC gaming for the next few years, the HP Victus 15 is really hard to beat. Coming in strong at number 2, we have the Asus TUF Gaming A16. And this thing is basically what happens when you ask an engineer to cram as much performance as humanly possible into a budget gaming laptop. Asus took their military-grade TUF durability testing and combined it with some genuinely impressive specs that would have been considered high-end just a couple years ago. This laptop feels like it could survive being dropped off a building and still boot up your favorite game without missing a beat. The build quality is just on a completely different level compared to most budget options. Under the hood is where this laptop really starts to show off. You're looking at AMD Ryzen 7 processors paired with RTX 4060 or even RTX 4070 graphics in some configurations, which means this thing can handle pretty much any modern game at high settings without breaking a sweat. The 16-inch display gives you a bit more screen real estate than the typical 15.6-inch norm, and with refresh rates up to 165 Hz, everything feels incredibly smooth and responsive. What really sets this apart is how consistent the performance stays. Asus really dialed in the cooling and power management so you get sustained high performance even during those epic gaming marathons. Now, all this performance will run you around $900 to $1,300 depending on which configuration you go with, which might seem like a lot for a budget list. But when you break down the performance per dollar, it's actually incredible value. You're getting laptop performance that was flagship territory not too long ago. The battery life is surprisingly solid for such a powerful machine, and the port selection is generous with all the USB-A, USB-C, HDMI, and Ethernet connections you could want. If you want the absolute most gaming performance you can squeeze out of your budget without stepping into premium laptop territory, the TUF Gaming A16 is pretty much unbeatable. And taking the top spot at number 1, we have the Lenovo LOQ15, which is honestly the most well-rounded budget gaming laptop you can buy right now. Lenovo basically took everything they learned from their premium Legion gaming line and distilled it down into a laptop that hits every single important checkbox without any major compromises. The design strikes this perfect balance between looking professional enough for school or work while still having those subtle gaming touches that let you know it means business when it's time to play. Performance-wise, this laptop is just consistently impressive across every category. You can configure it with Intel's latest processors and RTX 4060 graphics, which handles everything from competitive esports titles at high refresh rates to demanding single-player games at impressive settings. The 15.6-inch display comes with multiple options, including 165 Hz variants that make fast-paced games feel incredibly responsive. What I really love is how Lenovo nailed the thermal management. This thing runs cool and quiet even when you're pushing it hard, and the keyboard stays comfortable to use even during those extended gaming sessions that stretch way longer than you originally planned. The pricing is really where this laptop cements itself as our top pick. You can typically snag configurations starting around $750 and going up to about $1,000 for the higher spec models, which puts it right in that perfect sweet spot where you're getting premium features without that premium price tag. The build quality feels solid and durable. The battery life is actually respectable for a gaming laptop, and Lenovo's software suite actually adds useful features instead of just bloating your system with useless junk. Whether you're a student who needs something for both productivity and gaming, or just someone looking for their first serious gaming laptop that won't let you down, The LOQ15 delivers exactly what you need without any of those frustrating compromises that usually come with budget options.